Hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. So this time, what I'd like to talk about is that, or what I'd like you to notice is that, or what I'd like you to realize or know is that Great Wall by Mr. Donald Trump is a good idea, which is what I'd like you to understand. So, how should I say? Not how should I say? To start with, if you do not live in the United States of America, or if you are not a citizen of the United States of America, I don't think this is related to your life, because so, as I told you not just after in the beginning of this episode. So what I'm going to talk about is a Great Wall of what I'm going to talk about is a great wall of Mr. Donald Trump, or the ex-president Donald Trump. So I'm recording this episode on February in 2022, which is why the current or the incumbent president. How should I say so? Anyway, the current president or the present president in the United States of America is Mr. Joe Biden. So before the presidency of Joe Biden, or before the tenure, or how should I say, before the tenure or before the presidency of Joe Biden, so Donald Trump was the president, or Donald Trump was the previous president of the United States of America. Anyway, there are many great walls in this world. If I just tell you, so the great wall is really good. So in most cases, or in all the time, the great wall is just one great wall, which is a great wall located in mainland China, located in the northern part, or in the northern area, or in the north of mainland China. So the Great Wall in China is called Wanli Changcheng, and the great in most cases, or in 90% of all the conversations down all over the world is in 90% of all the conversations all over the world, down all over the world, the Great Wall indicates the Great Wall in China. Anyways, I'm sorry. So I almost lost in what I'm talking about. Anyway, so the Great Wall I'm going to talk about is the Great Wall of the United States of America, which was supposed to be built on the border between Mexico and the United States of America. And the conclusion is that the Great Wall between Mexico and the United States of America is a good idea. Building up a huge wall between Mexico and the United States is a good idea. So that is because tracing the history of mainland China, so there are some dynasties which had been governed by other foreign people than Han people. So if you are frequent listeners of my podcast, so you can understand that the majority people in mainland China is called Han people. So Han people is the major group, or the majority of mainland China. And taking an example from the course of the history of China. So for example, Daqing is the last empire in mainland China. So Daqing was governed by Non people. So there are many people, or there are many ethnic groups in mainland China, and Han group is main ethnic group in mainland China, which is what I have just told you 6 minutes before. But actually, there are other groups, and Man people is one of such foreign groups, who are foreign to Han people. Anyway, so Dachin was governed by Man people, and Man people are Manzu in Chinese language. Anyway, so Dachin was created, or the last empire had been administered or controlled or governed by Man people. And another example is Yuan Chao. Anyway, so we Japanese call Yuan, or Yuan is the Chinese character is read Yuan in Chinese language, but we read, or we Japanese read that Chinese character Yen. So which is why when I was a student in elementary school and junior high school and high school, we have learned that country as Yen. But so in this episode, so let me call that dynasty Yuan, because Yuan or Yuan Chao is the original Chinese name for the foreign government. And so Yuan was created and governed by a group of Mongolian people. So there are many Mongolian groups. There are many Mongolian groups in the to the north of mainland China, and Yuan Chao was governed by a Mongolian group, and as maybe that country was governed by. So anyway, so there are many kings, but there are many kings in that dynasty, and of course there. In a period, there is a king, and after king passed away, another person succeeds the throne or the position as a king, which is why the position of king is succeeded the position of king was succeeded in every dynasty. Anyway, so one of the most famous king in Yuan dynasty was Kubilai Han. We Japanese call Kubilai Han, but anyway, so Kubilai Han is not related to this episode. Anyway, so so what I'd like you to know in this episode is that there are some dynasties in mainland China which had been governed or controlled by other foreign groups than the majority group who are Han people. Anyway, so in the case of Dachin was governed by Man people, and in the case of Yuan dynasty, Yuan was governed, or Yuan was created by Mongolian people. Please memorize this point. So applying this Chinese example, or applying these Chinese cases in the history of China to the United States of America, it is possible that Mexican people include America, the United States of America, and the Mexican people govern the United States of America, and such a thing is happening because there are many Hispanic people coming into not mainland America, but the United States of America. There are many Hispanic people whose mother tongue is Spanish, and those Hispanic people live in the south of the United States of America, and the number of Hispanic people increases year by year, isn't it? How should I say it? Yeah, that doesn't it? Let me tell you again. So the number of Hispanic people in the United States of America increases, doesn't it? Year by year, maybe. So because the number of immigrants increases in every developed country. So this is but this is a time of the pandemic of COVID-19 or coronavirus. But actually, maybe after this pandemic, maybe the number of immigrants is going to rise, or is going to increase in every in every developed country, which is what I expect, or which is what I speculate. So thinking about, so which is why, it is likely to happen that, someday Hispanic people take over the United States of America, which is possible, which may not happen, but which may happen in the future. So, but in the case of China, in those two cases of mainland China, I have introduced in this episode. So, those foreign groups finally used Chinese characters or Chinese letters, or those their Chinese letters called Hanzi in Chinese language, isn't there? Those foreign groups had decided to use Chinese characters or Chinese language for transracial or transethnic communications, which is why, so it might happen that Hispanic people take over, or Hispanic people conquer the United States of America, which is possible, or which there is such a possibility that Hispanic people take all the territory of the United States of America. But if you are worried about whether you have to study Spanish language, but you do not have to study Spanish language because of for preparing for such a conference. So it's up to you whether you are going to prepare for such a conference, or prepare for such an occasion, like Hispanic people take over the United States of America. It's fine. So if you'd like to study Spanish language, that's all right. I think that is good stuff for your life. But actually, so what I'd like you to know this time is that, so anyway, building up Great Wall is a good idea, but so you do not have to study Spanish language only because of such a reason, or first of all, to start with, so it's not, maybe nobody's sure, or nobody's sure that such a conference is going to happen in the future. So so I don't know whether is there any Hispanic person who is trying to so invade and take all the territories of the United States of America. So but actually I don't think, I think most Hispanic people do not think anything about such a conference, or taking all the territories of the United States of America from Anglo-Saxon people. No Hispanic people. I don't think there is any. I don't think most Hispanic people think about such a thing. But actually, so which is why if you are thinking of studying Spanish language just preparing for the occurrence of such conquerence, or the occurrence of such invasions, but so in the case of Chinese, those Chinese dynasties established or created and governed by foreign groups of mainland China. So those foreign groups decided to use the native language in mainland China, which is why applying this Chinese example onto the United States of America. So in which case, if such a conference happened, which means if Hispanic people took over all the territories of the United States of America, I think those Hispanic people are going to use. Those Hispanic people were going to use English language for communication among people in the United States of America. Because there's no benefit in replacing English language to Spanish language for translation and international communications. or in the United States of America, because all the people understand that, and all the people are used to using English language, and there are fairly many people who do not understand Spanish, and who do not understand Spanish language, and there are fairly many people who do not use Spanish language, and there are fairly many people who are not used to using Spanish language. Thinking about, or based on such a fact, if such a concurrence happened in the future, if such a concurrence if such a concurrence happen in the future, such a replacement from English language to not Japanese language, such a replacement, or such a shift, or such a change of language from English to Spanish is not going to happen, which is my speculation, or which is my prediction, which is what I think. And I haven't recognized during the time of this recording, but after I investigated the meaning of, or the noun of conquer. Conquer is verb, but I didn't know the noun form of conquer, and I investigated, and the noun form of conquer is conquest. So I said concurrence, but concurrence was a mistake. Maybe there is no word. There is no such a word like concurrence. So instead of concurrence, please understand that I was trying to say conquest, not concurrence. Please make sure this point. So I will tell you again. So concurrence is a mistake, and please understand conquest instead of concurrence. So that's it. So coming back to the original topic of this episode, Great Wall is a fairly great idea. So that's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.